Hey all, Cypher and welcome back to another Dislyte video. So this is going to be an in-depth guide on how to do Fafnir 16. Of course, you know, farming stage 16 is going to be the most efficient way for like literally looking for relics. Talking about the relic sets available through Fafnir, they're not exactly the best, especially after the Tyranny of Zeus set was kind of nerfed, but they're still pretty good, you know, especially the turn of Zeus. Even this Hammer of Thor set is pretty decent on stuff like Lin Zhao, who basically want more crit damage because it provides 40% more crit damage. Talking about the two set pieces, the Light Above set is one of the best for PvP because it provides like immunity for one turn at the start of the battle, which is amazing. And but yeah, I mean, overall I think Fafnir is still like one of the most underwhelming what you may say bosses to farm on a regular basis. Like, you don't farm Fafnir that much. Now post update, this is going to be an updated guide for the updated boss. So after patch 3.1.7, naturally, like all of the bosses, Fafnir also took a huge jump in terms of difficulty, but I think out of all the three bosses, Fafnir is definitely one of the easiest, even after the update. So let's check out some of the teams that we can use. So personally, this is my own team that I'm using, but before actually going into the team and the mechanics of the team, I would like to talk about the strategy of dealing with Fafnir. So let's take a look at some of his skills, because I think one of the best ways to like understand players' mentality towards fighting these bosses is when they directly look at the skills, so they do not get confused in battles, right? So his first skill is going to be an AoE attack. It will have like I think 50% chance of inflicting speed down, and if the targets are buffed, 50% chance of inflicting stun as well. And this is kind of like an execution skill, so the fewer the enemies remaining, the more damage this attack deals. So in case, I mean, overall in this whole boss fight, it's highly recommended that you do not let your allies die, because the boss gains a lot of stuff which is harmful to you, to your remaining espers, if even one of your esper dies. So this is just one of those skills. So it's an AoE speed down. His second skill is called Dragon's Curse, used when Fafnir has Endwari's Treasure. So basically, Endwari's Treasure remains the same as it was before patch. For new players who do not know, Endwari's Treasure is a buff which Fafnir, the boss, gets. So basically, your espers have to deal a number of attacks or hits to the boss, and after the particular number of hits are achieved, the boss will end his Endwari's Treasure, and he will release one of your units which he has frozen. So after a certain number of hits are taken, he also gains a lot of damage mitigation. Keep in mind, he gains like 35% damage mitigation during the time this Endwari's Treasure buff is on him. And also keep in mind that he will freeze one of your units, the last unit to move. Basically, he'll freeze your unit, and then he will like apply all the Endwari's Treasure stacks upon him. Next up, this is one of the new changes that he has gone, which is called Endwari's Sword. So at the start of combat, he gains 1 stack of Endwari's Sword. Now, Endwari's Sword is another buff, alright, that's a buff which can be stolen, which can be dispelled, and basically, Endwari's Sword keeps stacking up as the boss takes turn, and after each turn, he gains 1 stack of like Endwari's Sword. So the amount of Endwari's Sword he has will increase the number of Endwari's Treasure stacks that he has. So in essence, you have to make sure that you have to keep dispelling this Endwari's Sword buff from the boss, because if you do not do that, he will get more Endwari's Treasure stacks, and that will just make the whole fight even longer, even more tedious, more scary, because if the boss gets turned, your Esper is pretty much dead. Like, whichever Esper is frozen, there's a very highly likely chance that Esper will die. If not in the first time, definitely the second time, and the loop will continue until he like totally annihilates your team. So keep in mind, you have to bring some Espers who can dispel buffs, steal buffs, and all sort of that, right? Second thing you have to keep in mind that he has this passive called Unbound Deluge, where he is immune to AP down effects, right? It's immune. And also he has this passive where you cannot one-shot the boss because a single attack cannot exceed 35% of its max HP, and he has 4 stacks of HP. So in essence, you have to deplete the HP 4 times, because he has 4 stacks now. Or earlier, I think before the new update, I think it was only 3 stacks, but they changed it to 4. Also, for each stack of HP lost, Fafnir gains an Andwari's treasure, and he inflicts Ice Field Abyss on its last attacker. So this is when the freeze goes on. This is basically the freeze which I was talking about. So after each stack, the freeze automatically triggers, and this is separate from the normal freeze which he does. All right. Also, when casting Ice Field Abyss, if Fafnir is buffed, reduces the target's max HP by a certain percentage. This is also pretty huge, guys, because if your Esper magically survives, you know, he has a lot of damage mitigation, a lot of healing, he potentially survives, but then he permanently loses a specific amount of max HP, right? So the next time he's frozen, it's that much easier for Fafnir to execute him. Second up, you also can see he, as like with all the new bosses, Fafnir is also now element restricted, where he takes more damage from Wind Espers, and he also takes more damage from Wind Espers, and he deals even more damage to Wind Espers. Their non-Wind Espers, basically their miss rate is negated. It's very close to impossible if you're doing it from non-Wind Espers, because the miss rate, I think this is like easily 50 to 60%. I'm not sure, because I did not actually check this out myself. I'm only using Wind Espers, because I know from previous experiences from Chronos that this miss rate is not a joke. After a certain number of turns, increases his damage every single turn, so you cannot drag this fight out. This cannot be a tank and spank. You have to kill the boss. All right, so there's that. So wait, we did not cover the tablets. This is also pretty important. The suppression tablet is the tablet which will be located at the left of the boss, and blessing is the one which will be located at the right of the boss. The left tablet is an AoE which has a chance to inflict disease for 2 turns. The chance is pretty high, so if you do not have immunity, there's a very good chance that some of your Espels will be diseased. The second tablet removes all debuffs from the boss, so there's no way to like inflict block debuffs or something, right? Because the right tablet will cleanse all the debuffs on the boss. And it's also pretty impossible to like land defense breaks, like unless you have very good speed tuned Espers. But that's that. Now let's take a look at some of the recommendations and my personal formation which I'm using. So I'm using Meredith as a speed lead. Meredith, her value has skyrocketed for Fafnir. Like, I think she's mandatory now, because I cannot personally find a replacement for her till now. I'll tell you why she's so good. Because her first skill is a triple attack, and she has a 45% chance to dispel 1 buff. Each attack has 45%. I mean, that's huge, guys. That's literally countering all the mechanics of Fafnir. You need Espers that can hit multiple times. You will need Espers who can dispel buffs. And Meredith is fulfilling all the 2 criterias. Actually, all the 3 criterias, because she's also wind element, right? So I mean, she's just huge. She's just huge. She also increases the survivability of the team because of her disc skill. She's amazing. Gabriel's viability after the update has skyrocketed as well for Fafnir. All the first skills are pretty much triple hitters now. Even her first skill, never mind, it's a double hitter, but you know, it's at least it's multi-hitter, right? So also she can be she has improved her own DPS after the update because of her changes, which is amazing. So she can also help give you a more survivability with defense ups and immunity. Immunity is pretty strong against the left tablet, which continuously tries to inflict disease on your Espers. She also has a good chance of inflicting attack down. So if your speed tune is right, there's a very potential chance that the boss might be attacked down before the right tablet is actually able to cleanse that. So there's that. Her second skill also a debuff, which is pretty good. It also has now this speed scaling, and it deals a decent amount of damage. You'll see in the run, which I'm talking about. Next up, I'm using Lyn. Lyn, guys, one of the most underused heroes in the game, is now in like top priority teams for Fafnir, at least from my own personal experience. So all of her skills are multi-hitters, right? Same like Gabriel. 1 time, I mean, this is 2 times. That's her basic. This is her second skill. Hits 3 times. Also 60% chance of dispelling 1 buff and inflicting attack down on a 3-turn cooldown. This is massive, guys. This is massive for new players. If they manage to pull in, the only problem is with this team, it's not exactly free-to-play friendly, because you have to pull for like Lyn, you have to pull for Li Guang, you have to pull for Ahmed. I mean, I'm using Ahmed. because I pulled him and he is godly. He is a literal god for Fafnir. And he is also my soul healer. Well, not exactly soul, but definitely the main healer, because Meredith also heals a decent amount, right? But definitely Emmett is my soul healer. He has a lot of heals. He has the ability to bypass the inflicted disease debuffs. He can lower our own cooldown. As you can see, I'm using Emmett as it is in base form. He has 0 skill ups, but the rest of my Espers do have all of their skills skilled up. Li Guang is also R4. Lin is completely maxed out, R6. All of these skills are skilled up to the max. Gabriel, totally maxed out, R6. All of the skills are skilled up. Meredith, again, this is actually insane. I thought I had more Merediths, but this is my only Meredith. But yeah, she is, her skills are maxed out as well. So there's that. Let me just pretty much go through some of the relics that have equipped on them. So Ahmed is on a speed set along with the Sword of Tara set for extra counter attacks in case the boss attacks with his AoE. You know, it's pretty decent. He also heals a lot from his basic attacks, so why not? HP, defense, and speed on 2, 4, and 6. My Li Guang is on crit damage, attack, and speed. Speed is very important, Li Guang, because she is potentially your only AP booster. She can get your turns. She can get a lot of turns herself. She can also help your allies get more turns because she has this AP push. And all of her skills also hit multi. So she's just amazing overall for Fafnir. I think she was used quite a lot before the update as well. And if you have a Li Guang built yet, well, good for you. If you do not, please do build her for Fafnir at least. Lin, I have her on a normal DPS set. Honestly, crit damage, attack, and attack on War Machine and critical subset. On Gabriel, I'm using speed. On a typical bruiser, I wanted to replace this HP bonus with attack bonus, and you guys can do that because now she skills with attack and she can deal quite a lot of damage, honestly. But currently I'm just using her as she wasn't used in the past in crit damage, HP bonus, and speed. Meredith, you can just use her like in a normal like speed healer type composition. She should also be a little bit more tanky if you can. Also provide her with some accuracy if you can. Me personally, I only have like 36%, which then roughly equates to like 50% because of the elemental advantage. So there's that, right? HP bonus, and so without further wait, let's take a look at the team in action. Alright, so the initial waves are gonna be pretty simple, honestly. If you've taken a look at Fafnir, if you've done it before, you should be able to clear these waves pretty easily without any difficulty, honestly. Because the waves do not get a bit touched, so they remain the same as they were before the update, which is good, honestly. I was thinking they might add some weird mechanics to the waves as well, just to make this boss even tougher, but no, it's just the boss. So I'm hoping my team does not use a lot of their third abilities. It's pretty sad that we cannot actually control the skills of our Espers, so like we cannot like AI control their skills. For example, I really want my Meredith to only be doing her first skill, maybe her third skill at best, you know, because her dispel is pretty important. Like as you guys can see, she just dispelled 2 stacks of Enwari's shard from the boss. So now after he takes a turn, after one of his HP bars gets depleted, he will instantly freeze my Lin because she was the one who actually depleted the HP bar, and he will have now fewer stacks of his Enwari's treasure, so it will be fewer multi-hits to be able to you know, deal with the shield that the boss has. And it will also mean that the boss will deal less damage to the target, which is frozen. As you guys can see, my Lin got pretty less damage, you know, she's almost like she's back to full HP thanks to Emmett and Meredith, of course. Meredith is also pretty amazing as she provides a crit resist and defense buff to the ally. Now this time my Gabriel got frozen, so I'm pretty happy because even if my Gabriel like takes a big hit, I'm pretty sure she will not die because she's pretty tanky and beefy. But even so, as you guys can see, my team is easily dispelling the buffs, they're easily destroying the shields. The boss is not doing that much crazy amount of damage as he would normally do. As you guys can see in the top right hand corner, he has only a stack of Enwari's treasure, now even has the attack down buff. so he will do even less damage. He also has that Seer buff, so all incoming damage will be increased by 25% thanks to Lin's Seer. As you guys can see, he only has 12 stacks of shield this time because he has 0 Endwari Shard buffs. Now this time he has 2. Hopefully, after this attack, my team will get to move and my Meredith will clean. Dispel the buffs, I mean, never mind. Lin did it. That's pretty amazing. I mean, Lin also... I would recommend if you guys want this runs to be like completely 100% or even close to 100% because, you know, as I always say, nothing is 100%. But I would really advise you to build some accuracy on your Lin as well, because Lin can, you know, take fall when your Meredith does not dispel the buffs. She can help you do that. And as you guys can see, the boss is down. It's not simple. I will not say simple, but you know, the strategy works. And that's the core strategy to beat Fafnir. I'll just do it once more. Let's see. This is pretty shitty because only 2 substats. The runs take average like 250 seconds or like 2 minutes, 60. I mean, close to 3 minutes, and you know that's pretty average. I mean, considering the difficulty increase in the boss, an average of 3-minute runs. That's not bad, man. That's not entirely bad, right? Like, I was expecting much more, but I mean, 3 minutes, I'll take it. Like, if it's consistent, I'll take it, right? It's only 3 minutes, and let's be honest, we all just leave the game on auto. You know, just the multi battles keep running. We do our own stuff. Who looks actually at the runs? And I think majority of us play on emulators, so it doesn't really matter. So our phone is not really occupied by the game. Hopefully, many of us do that because I personally do that. And I think that's the most efficient way. So we're off to boss fight. And one thing that I might want to correct myself. At the start, I said the boss has 4 layers of HP. Actually, it's 5 layers of HP. Now that makes a lot of sense why this fight is much more tougher. Because naturally, 5 layers is huge. You have to kill the boss 5 times. And you know, have to like break 5 times. You have to deal with his freeze and shit. So yeah, it's pretty tough. I won't be surprised if some of these runs fail, honestly, because you know the amount of stats this boss has, the amount of overtuned abilities this boss has, they really made this a whole new different level of game design. Like, I was not expecting this to be the rework. We were like this type of stuff I might expect if they increase these stages to like 17, 18, or 19. But you know, it is what it is, and her Gabriel takes a big hit, and she also gets her max HP reduced because my Esper is not able to cleanse off the Endwari short buff on the boss. Now he only has 1 stack. Hopefully, there we go. Our Lin dispels all the stacks. The next freeze will be pretty easy to break off because he only has 12 stacks of his shield. So pretty easy, right? But yeah, that's the gist of it. Meredith, Lin, they both are amazing, honestly, and they're for I think for new players, they're not free to play exactly, but for old players, they're pretty free to play. I can definitely say that they're free to play for old players because Lin we used to get from like new player 7-day signups, something about the Path to Mastery event, or there was something like that, and Meredith was literally free from an event that happened in the past, but yeah, not anymore. So. You know, don't sleep on the new Espers which are added to the game, especially the free ones. Like we had a free event for Dalen. You never know when Dalen might be useful in future events or like, you know, future content. So it's always good to like stack up on these free Espers and the Espers that are provided to you in the form of ripples. So that's one more good thing they added in the patch. And there goes our Fafnir once again. Yeah, right. Cold Dragon, sleep, bro. It's time for you to sleep. There's our handy little Guang showing her swag. I mean, if that is even a word, well, who uses swag now? Alright, so we'll just sell this off. This is very bad. This is a very bad relic. Gold is also a very big issue, so keep selling those useless relics. Keep selling. But yeah, that covers all the mechanics that I wanted to include in this video. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to beat this boss. Once again, have a lot of accuracy. Try to have a lot of accuracy on your Espers. Like, as you guys can see, my Meredith has a 48%. Malin has a base 36. I mean, this is not a lot, right? I think this is pretty manageable. My stats are not at all good. Like, these are bare average, bare minimum, I guess. Close to bare minimum, right? Hopefully you all can just get these stats on your espers. I know a lot of people are going to criticize me for using Ahmed here, but you know, this is my own personal clear. You guys can probably use even stuff like other healers like David. I think that EF2P showed a really good video of David, but you know, honestly, after the XP fuck-ups, I cannot build new espers, so I'm just forced to use the current ones that I have. David is another decent hero to use because you know, he steals buffs, so that's pretty good, right? And well, in terms of healers, let me just check what healers do we have in Wind, right? I think many people are still using Baroness. She's also getting a cool new skin for herself, so you might even try Baroness. She has this amazing shield. She also has this, what should I say, a recovery buff, so that's a great innate healing. She also does a lot of multi-hits. Look at that. Look at that, triple hits on both of her skills. So that's pretty good, right? You can use Baroness as well. Fabrice, you might even use Fabrice if you want, but definitely he's questionable because he has no multi-hits, right? So yeah, there's that. Tang Yun you can use potentially as a DPS instead of Li Guang. Or you can even use a Louis as DPS instead of Li Guang. He's a lot of multi-hits. I think it was like he's made for Fafnir, to be honest, but I'm just using Li Guang because of her extra utility to be able to push teammates, and she can even push herself up with the AP up. And you know, she's overall just a speedy squirrel, right? So I need more speed. That's it, right? So hope you guys had a great time. Hope you guys have a good day ahead. Hope you guys are able to clear Fafnir after watching this video. And I'll see you later. Peace.